Jack,
What's up, dude?
what's up, man? How are you?
How you doing, man?
Good, man. Thanks for connecting. How are you? Everything going okay?
Good. I just heard you talking about how hard we're working, and I'm like, kinda.
Well, dude, not from what I saw. It's so funny. It seems like you guys have been as busy as ever, doing all sorts of stuff to get the word out about this new album. Maybe that's a good place to start. Let's talk about the record, Wake Up Sunshine.
Yeah, it's funny that you say we've been doing performances and stuff because we've been doing like a lot of interviews and a lot of, me and Alex have a podcast we're starting up again. But
Uh-huh.
when it comes to performance, because we're not all in the same place, it's all kind of fallen on Alex to like, yeah. So he has to do all the performances, and we'll pop on at the end and be like, "What's up, guys?"
That's funny. I had not heard of a band doing Zoom meet and greets yet, but that's something that you guys have been doing, huh?
Yeah, dude, just anything, just trying to figure out, any way to, get people excited.
How's the vibe on those? Obviously, they're different. Are they something that has worked for you? Something you feel like you would do kind of beyond lockdown and COVID and all that?
Yeah, dude, I think that, because of COVID and lockdown, we've discovered all these things that we probably never would have done before.
Sure.
We can do intimate like video chats with people, which I guess probably would have been creepy back in the day, but now it's okay.
Yeah, it's allowed for sure.
Yeah. But it's weird promoting a record like this. But now things are opening up again, and Monsters is at radio, and it seems like it's doing well. So it's been really fun.
It is doing well, man. Like I was just saying, it's something that we've been playing now for the last couple of weeks, and it's just one of those songs. No surprise coming from you guys. It's instantaneous. You hear it, you listen to it for 30 seconds, and it is in your head, and it's just one of those songs that you know it as soon as you hear it. It's a song you're going to be listening to for a long, long time.
Dude, that means a lot, dude. Thank you.
Absolutely. Let's talk about Wake Up Sunshine.
Yeah.
It's so funny that you guys have been forced to kind of talk about this record with people apart, or at least physically apart, because the big story of the making of the record was that for the first time in a long time, you guys were together. You were in the same room. It's a weird dichotomy. Talk to me about the making of this record. Where was it? Why was that different than what you had done, kind of at least in the recent past?
The past. I've actually no one has put it that way yet. Like
Yeah.
no one has put those two things together that, we're apart now, but we made it together. Yeah. So in the past, it's kind of been Alex and a producer bringing us a song, and us kind of working on that after it's kind of been hashed out. So, and then putting it together in the end. That worked out for us in the past, but this time we kind of went old school with it, kind of how we and many bands used to make records. We just rented a house in Palm Springs,
Yeah.
and just did it kind of old school, and just all like sat around the living room and wrote songs together, and that's what Wake Up Sunshine is. So that's been really special, and it's a very special record for us for that reason.
It's so funny. It's a very lazy thing for people who write about records to say big, broad, sweeping statements like back to their roots and the return to form and things like that. And of course, those have been plastered all over descriptions of this record. Does any of that ring true? Did that feel, other than the making of the record where you just described musically, did it feel like you were tapping into something brand new, something that you guys had done before, maybe a little bit of both?
Good question. I think that because of how different our last record was, sonically from most of the All Time Low albums, I feel like we kind of just naturally wanted to get back to a faster, bigger sound.
Sure.
And it wasn't like a conscious thing. We're like, all right, guys, let's go make a pop punk record. It was just, that's how the songs came out. Like the ideas were flowing, and they were all pretty high tempo, pretty high energy. So I do think that all of us being together influenced that. Because we were pulling ourselves in cool new directions, like you said, new sounds. But yeah, I think that was a big part of it, is kind of getting back to what we know best.
Awesome, man. We talked about Monsters a little bit. How did the collaboration with Black Bear come to be?
Yeah, that's I was thinking about this today, because Monsters was actually written by me and Alex and our buddies Kevin and Andrew in a closet. And I've heard a story, actually Matt Pinfield told a story once before, where Kurt Cobain wrote Heart-Shaped Box in a closet. And I remember hearing that story, and I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting, because we've never written a song in a closet before. But it was written really late night, and at the time, Andrew, one of the collaborators, also was writing Hot Girl Bummer with Black Bear.
Mm-hmm.
And so Andrew was like, "Hey Barry, like, do you want to do a verse on this?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure." So he like recorded and wrote the verse and sent it to us, and we were like, "Holy crap!" Like, no changes needed. Like, this is amazing. And we just kind of put it in the song. So it was just one of those happy accidents, kind of.
Yeah, was it a sense of relief? Gosh, I always feel like artists open themselves so much up when they allow other artists to write or participate in the song. And when you guys opened up that file and you got that verse, was it like, oh, please, please work, please be good? Or was it like, I mean, it had to have been nerve wracking. So what was the feeling like when it worked and you knew it was going to work?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's the kind of thing where Andrew would ask Black Bear because we love his music and we felt that his whole vibe and the way he writes would have fit perfectly into Monsters.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a feeling that it was going to work, but also, like you said, you get it and you don't know. Then it's like, okay, like, are we stuck with this? Or so luckily it wasn't that, but that definitely is one of the things that goes through your head when you ask someone to collaborate with you, because sometimes you don't want to give them too much direction, because they're like Black Bear's an amazing artist who is so accomplished. So it's like, let him do his thing.
Yeah.
And we are just happy that, like, when we opened that file, I was just like, holy crap. Like, literally, I was like, I played it like 4 more times. I was like, okay, like, this is amazing. So it was we're really happy with it.
There's so much trust required on both sides. And I'm sure it doesn't always work out. And I'm sure we don't hear about it when it doesn't work out. this one clearly worked out. So it's great. It's great. You kind of referenced this a little bit earlier with a podcast you guys were restarting, Crash Test Live. For people who don't know, can you talk about what it was and what this new incarnation will be?
Yeah, so we used to have a podcast called Full Frontal, which was, me and Alex have a banter on stage similar to, what Blink-182 used to do. And that's kind of where we got our inspiration and our start to have that kind of persona. And so that kind of transformed into a podcast called Full Frontal that we did on the road for a couple of years. And it was super fun. But once we get off the road, we live in different places, so it made it harder. But because of quarantine and doing all these Zooms and all these interactions, it kind of like sparked it up in us to be like, all right, let's start it up again. And so it's basically going to be a podcast, but we're going to do it live and on Zoom. So cool. It's going to be, a potential disaster because there's no cutting it or anything. But yeah, so we don't know what we're walking into, but stick around for the potential disaster.
Oh, it's so funny. There's a feature on it called "Are You Smarter Than Jack?" And I was going to put you on the spot and ask you a bunch of, but I'm not going to. We'll save that for the show. Like, when it happens.
Believe me, dude, those questions are not easy. Like, and by the way, I haven't after doing podcasts, I have a newfound respect for radio hosts and everything, because, man, you have to constantly be on.
Yeah.
It's insane, dude. Like, even if this is a 10-minute interview and I'm like, okay, gotta be on. But like,
sure,
I have a big respect for you guys. It's not easy.
That's very nice of you to say. Some of what you say is true, and some of it, well, it depends. It depends on the day, but yeah, that's very nice. Have you guys got any sense? No one really has a sense of kind of what's going to happen in the future, and kind of what plans even could be for the rest of the year. But does the band have anything that it wants to do, or things that it knows it's going to do over the course of the next couple of months as we figure all this out?
Yeah, good question. I know that we had a lot of touring plans for this year. We're an album cycle. So we're trying to move everything from this year to next year, just because, we didn't want to do it too soon and have to cancel it a second time. And,
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing Sad Summer. We're doing our tour, Sad Summer Fest. We move it to next summer. This record was made, as you can tell, to be a live record. It's very high energy. It's, it really, the way we even built the songs and the track listing almost feels like a set list in a way. There's ebbs and flows, and it's, we're very proud of how that came about. So, we had a conversation with our booking agent the other day, and he's like, are you guys ready as soon as we're allowed to book shows? And we're literally dude, yes, bags are packed. Just as soon as you get the go ahead from venues or it's safe again to do these, we're doing it.
Yeah. Were there any discussions to not release the record in April? Given, at that point, we were a couple of weeks in, we're starting to get a gauge of how big this was. Did anybody bring up, hey, maybe early April isn't the time to do this and we should wait?
Yeah, and we were like other artists around this who released around the same time as us. We were in a weird position where we already had a couple songs out.
Yeah.
So it's not the kind of thing where we felt like, okay, like let's just hold it. And it was so up in the air that you didn't know what was going to happen with Corona. So it's like, okay, we're going to hold this record for like 6 months, lose all the buzz and momentum we have. Like it just, and also like it's not fair to the fans. Like you've waited like 2 years, now just wait another year. It's not fair. So we felt it was best to just put it out.
Yeah, well, let me say, kind of on behalf of people, I'm sure that was a tough decision. I'm sure you'd rather be out there playing these songs and supporting the record the way that you kind of intended as you were making it. But I don't know, on behalf of us, thank you for releasing it. It's much better to have this music kind of out in the world. I know our radio station is better with Monsters. and so as far as we're concerned, you made the right call. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, man.
Absolutely. Dude, good luck with the show. Crash Test Live.
Crash Test Live.
Any other Zooms or anything that people can know about or sneak into? How does that work?
We're doing these cool things right now that we keep putting up. We're doing a track by track of our album where with the writers and producers who worked on each specific song, and we have the tracks pulled up, and you can actually get like an in-depth look at what goes into writing a song, but not only that, but like, each track and how you build a song up. So it's kind of super nerdy stuff, but it's fun, and diehard fans really like it. And I think it's unique, not a lot of people do that.
Yeah, no, I watched one of them last night. It's rare you get to see a band kind of go that in depth on the making of a song. And a lot of people think that you just jump into a closet and you hop out and the song comes. And you guys showed there's a lot more to it than that for sure. So
I mean, if I could have seen, like, when I was growing up, bands like Green Day and Blink do that, I would have been like over the moon, like, so it was yeah, we hope that people appreciate that stuff.
Cool. Jack, thanks for the time. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, dude.
It was nice seeing you. Congratulations on the new record. And as soon as all
appreciate it.
It's cleared up, feel free to stop by. We'd love to see you, my man.
Appreciate it, dude.
All right, cool. Absolutely.